Swarajya samrajya vibhutiresha bhavat kripa shri mahima prasadat prapta maya shri gurave mahatmani namo namaste stu punarnamostu Namo namaste-stu punarnamostu Namo namaste-stu punarnamostu Namastasmai sadaikasmai kasmai chinmahase namaha Yadetad vishvarupena rajate guru rajate Yadetad vishvarupena rajate guru rajate Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Guru Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishabhai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Now we start with the story today that I told you yesterday. The important point is that those who have done the rituals properly according to the Vedic prescriptions, they are supposed to gain certain characteral qualities, which we have been telling even in the evening also. So if they develop that qualities, that makes them deserving for the knowledge, because they will be able to understand whatever is told. With the constricted mind, with haunted always by desires and selfishness, this knowledge will not be understood. Moreover, it can be misunderstood also. It may lead to idleness. That is why these restrictions are given. It is not to limit anybody. It is only for the deserving people. The second point is that the Brahma Sutra explanation of the first sutra itself in detail, Shankaracharya has discussed that performing the rituals is not enough. If you perform the rituals and have those characteral qualities, then you become fit. Suppose without performing the rituals you have the qualities. So performing the rituals is not mandatory. Having the qualities is mandatory. This is one of the most important points. That it is the qualities that matter. It is the parameters of our mind, the characteristics of our mind which makes us fit. It is not the performance of the rituals. To prove that, they have taken a mythical character of Nachiketa, which might have been true, may not have been true, it doesn't matter at all. For us to understand that Nachiketa had not performed any rituals, but he had these qualities in ample measure. So much he had that ultimately, after testing him throughout, that is why this story goes on long. Whereas in Mundaka Upanishad we find that the great householder Saunaka, he became fulfilled in his life and he went for the knowledge, and the moment he asked, Angira started giving him the knowledge. Here Yamaraj is repeatedly refusing Nachiketa, and through all those stories what is tested is whether Nachiketa had already the sadhana chatushtaya. That is why a long story is there. And finally Yamaraja gives him the certificate that, oh Nachiketa, more and more disciples like you are a satyadhriti, that you are a person who can retain the truth, not only can receive the truth, understand the truth, but you can retain the truth. More and more disciples like you may more and more disciples like you come to us. Brahma sadhana is wide open before you, simply walk in. These statements are there in Kathopanishad. So it is the qualities that matter. Now the story starts with Nachiketa's father, Vajashavas. He was performing a great yaga called Vishwajit Yaga. It is one of the very difficult and elaborate yaga. So all will not be able to perform. Nachiketa's father had already performed many other things. He was doing this. Now, in performing yaga, yajna, etc., even Ashwamedha yaga also, the prescription is that at the end of the yaga, you have to gift profusely. Dana. Dana is an important part of the yajna. Being desirous of property and all, you may spend a lot for performing the yajna, but your mind may still remain constricted because you are spending that money for the yajna only to reserve your seat in the heaven or anything like that. Desireful objective. But at the end of the yaga, it is part of the yaga that you have to gift profusely so that your all money goes away to the poor and the needy and other people. So, even if your mind remains constricted by performing this gift, your mind has to become liberal and open. And when you actually gift, then you get the joy of gifting also. So that will set a new vision in your mind that there is more joy in gifting than in holding. That possessiveness gives us stress. When we are able to get out of the possessiveness, somehow to keep away the possessiveness and gift liberally, we get much more joy. So naturally, we are looking for happiness, looking for joy. Wherever we get the joy, we will do it again and again. So these are means to make your mind, to expand your mind, to make your mind expansive. Now, Nachiketa's father was, this actually, you know that in Ashwamedha Yaga, which were done by the great kings, because it needs a preparation of 1 year. So it will not be possible for other people. In Mahabharata, in the Shanti Parva, Yudhishthira is asking that this Ashwamedha Yaga is only meant for the king. When Bhishma asked him to perform Ashwamedha Yaga, he said that, well, for getting out, relieved of my grief, I will perform the Ashwamedha Yaga. But what about others, those who do not have the means, those who are not the kings or emperors? How will they get relieved of the grief and other constrictions? Bhishma says, equal to that for them is the Vishnu sahasranama. That is how Vishnu sahasranama had become so prominent, and you know here we perform the Vishnu sahasranama in a form of Yajna also. Now those Ashwamedha Yaga, the gifting used to be so much that the good kings, our Kalidasa describes Ikshvaku Vangsha, a king in Rama's ancestors. Gifting the king has become absolutely proper. How he mentions that, he says that the saint had appeared after the yajna was over. And the king is receiving the saint with a mud pot, pouring water on his feet. So he expresses in one word, Bhita Hiranmayana, that is, the palace had become free of all the gold. There was no gold available in the palace. That means the king has to distribute all his property after the Ashwamedha Yaga. A good king would do it. It had great economic relevance also. Whenever the coffer will become full, the treasurer minister would come and request the king that, king, our coffer has become full, please perform a yaga, maybe Ashwamedha Yaga or all. Why? Because the whole coffer, whatever treasure they have collected, that will be distributed among the people. It takes 1 year of preparation where all the artisans, all crafts, everything will be there. Drama will be there, lectures will be there, various shows will be there, various handicrafts will be projected as they were doing in the tribal welfare here. Like that, everything. So in 1 year of preparation, the whole money will get distributed amongst the people. So it had great economic relevance also to keep the economic balance. All these came automatically because of the large mind and the large vision. These have been done. Now this Vishwajit Yaga, our Vajashravas, Nachiketa's father, was performing, but his mind was so constricted that he was giving the wrong gifts. Seeing that, Nachiketa felt very bad. Upanishad says, shraddha avivesha. Nachiketa's mind, shraddha dawned. This shraddha is a great word in our scripture which cannot have any proper English translation. Shraddha is defined in Vedanta as Shastreshu Guru Vakyeshu Bhakti Shraddha Nigadyate. That means those who give the maximum value to the words of scriptures and the words of the Guru. So finally it is a value that matters. Bhagavad Gita says in the 17th chapter, I think the 3rd verse, Shraddha mayoyam purushaha yo yat shraddha saeva saha. That man is made of his shraddha. Whatever our shraddha is, we are that. Why? Because outside we may be all very different people. But in my mind, suppose I value money most, then my mind will always be given to money. So I am an embodiment of money in my mind. Suppose I give maximum value to fame or reputation. So my mind will always think of fame and do everything for it. So outer personality, whatever it is, the mind will be always fame oriented. So we can say he is an embodiment of desire for fame. Like that, anything which the mind is valuing most, for that we are sacrificing all other things. Suppose you really value this self, then all other worldly interests will be sacrificed. But it is not so. We value the worldly things more. So for all worldly attainment or worldly involvement, even for marriage and other things also, we sacrifice the spiritual pursuit and go for that. It is all the evaluation in our mind. That is called the shraddha. We say we call God supreme, but we don't give him the supreme position because we don't value it like that. We value the worldly things more than God or ultimate goal or self-realization or whatever you may say, self. So because we are giving the least value, all other things are taking over our pursuit for that. So until we value this ultimate goal, give this the maximum, the supreme importance, it will remain away from us. The first step towards attaining this or walking this path is to give it the supreme value. How will you give the supreme value? You have to do the vichara in your mind, as we were doing all the 3 days, that consider all the happiness we are looking for and what are the results of it and where lies the happiness. Always this vichara will go on. Even for an advanced seeker also, this vichara has to be there, so that we can give it the supreme value. That is the shraddha. Now what happened here? In Nachiketa's father's mind, supreme value was to his property with the cows and other things he had. So he is not able to dispossess. He is not able to gift a proper item. Upanishad describes very beautifully. Some of the shlokas, I think you can also chant. It is nice. See, the Upanishad starts with the word desire. Ushan means desire. Means it is pointing out first where lies the trouble. And it ends with the shlokas, Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yasya rudishritaha athamatyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. When the desires hiding in our heart are all removed, then man becomes immortal here itself, not after death. Here itself he becomes immortal. Atra Brahma Samashnute. Whatever the attainment of the Brahman, it takes place here only. When? When the desires go. Now here it is starting with the desire. What is happened? Ushanhavai Vajashavasaha Sarvaveda Sandadau Tasyaha Nachiketa Nama Putra Asa. Vajashravas was desirous of the fruit of the result. What is the fruit there? In Vedas, it is, don't confuse with the Upanishad. In Vedas, the fruit is an objective fruit. That is, I am performing the desire to go to the heaven. It's an objective fruit. It is not the internal. Whereas in spirituality, in Vedanta, all the fruits are within. That is, I am doing something for the purity of the mind. In Vishnu sahasranama also, if you are a good seeker, you will perform the yaga only to gain some more purity and spiritual elevation, not for getting any desireful objects. So here the phala is to go to the heaven. Tasyaha Nachiketa Nama Putrasa. He had the son called, see, he says Sarvaveda Sandadau. He had given off everything in that yaga. Actually, everything is a pun here. Now he is saying what all he gave. He had a son called Nachiketa. Tamha Kumaram Santa Dakshinasu Niyamanasu Shraddha Avivesha. So Amanyata. This Kumara, Nachiketa, the small boy Nachiketa, seeing the items brought from the Dakshina of such a Yajna, Dakshinasu Niyamanasu, items brought for giving gift after the Yajna, seeing that, what happened in this boy's mind? Shraddha Avivesha. Shraddha dawned in his mind. What is that Shraddha? He has read, or from his own susceptibility he thought that this is not the right thing my father is doing. The scriptures say that you should give liberally, gift the best of the items liberally. We have in scriptures in Taittiriya, all are said that Hriyadeyam, Shriyadeyam, Shraddhayadeyam, Ashraddhaya Adeyam. How to gift, everything is given there. That you should give thinking of the other person, what I am giving is useful to him or I want to dispose of the thing. You give whatever should be useful for the thing. You giving, you don't, if you think that, oh, I am great, I am at the superior position, I am gifting you with a neglect. No. Riyadeyam, Lajjayadeyam, that you should feel very humble, that I am gifting you, I am grateful because there is somebody to gift. I am getting the joy of gifting only because you are there to receive. Suppose there is nobody to receive, then will you ever get the joy of gifting? There won't be any. In America, they all, through the good sofa sets also you will find lying on the street. There is nobody to take it. The truck will come and take them and crush them. So there is no joy of gifting at all. You only dispose of things. So, Ashraddhaya Adeyam, if you do not have Shraddha, don't give. It is better not to give than give it with Ashraddha and humiliating way. You should give it with lot of humbleness, with lot of Shraddha. Then you should give it Shriyadeyam, as you have according to that. For a person who is earning say 500 rupees, even if he gives 100 rupees or 10 rupees, it is great for him. He is giving according to whatever he has. For a person who has 5 lakhs or 5 crores, if he gives even 1000 rupees, it is not Shriyadeyam. It is only he is not giving according to his own. So you know, even now in our country there are traditional prescriptions. In particularly Gujarat and Rajasthan, they still follow that in your business, in some cases it is 11%, some cases it is 25%. But they may not go by the percentage, but ample portion of it, say minimum 11%, has to be gifted to people who are not related to you. So you know that the Haridwar, Rishikesh, all the satrams, they are run by them. Gujarati and Marwadis, they are running the satrams because of their, they have to spend the money for others, for the saints and others. It's not always saints, maybe there are Bhikshukas also, they don't have anything, so it is being gifted to them. So that is Shriya Deham, means you have to give it according to the proportion. It should be respectable gift. It should not be anything that you throw off or dispose of like that. So Nachiketa remembers those statements he might have studied, or his mind was given to that. When we are gifting, a good pure mind will always think in the right manner. He doesn't have to know from the Shastras actually. A pure mind, whatever comes out of it, that becomes the Shastra Vakya. Our Shastras themselves say that a knower, whatever words come out of his mouth is the Shastra. These Shastras have been formed like that. How did the Shastras come? They are utterances of the Rishis. So from the pure mind, whatever responses come, they are the real Shastras. And that will be according to the situation. When we rigidly follow the Shastras, then we are liable to make many mistakes. Like the tying the cat, you know that story, no? Very common. That cat was, during the satsang, the cat was creating problem, meow, meow, meow. So the satsang cannot be taken. It is adi bhautika problem. The cat is shouting. So the Guru asked the cat to be tied always, tied near them so that it will not shout. So during the satsang, before the satsang begins, the cat used to be brought and tied near the satsang. So then the Guru passed away, second generation came, third generation came. Always they used to tie a cat there. When there is no cat, they will hunt for a cat from here and there, and then finally get a cat from somewhere and bring and tie there. So one day a person asked that what is this mystery of this, or secret of this, that every time the satsang there is a cat tied? Oh, you don't know, the Guru said that the cat has to be tied during the satsang. So, Guru said for one purpose, now it has become a cat has to be tied. Like that, Shastra Vakya also become like that. That is what the first day I was saying, that the Vedas have discussed all this. So they took it to be so rigidly that all the Vedanta, they are useless, they are only eulogies, they are only exaggerations. You have to do this yaga, you have to do this yaga. Even if you don't have desire, you have to do this. And that is all. You don't have anything called the Atma or anything further to be attained. Everything is in this. So everywhere a thing gets perverted because of we lose the touch of the central core. So a person who is pure, who is anchored in his inmost being, whatever he does or speaks, it is automatically Shastra oriented. It is already Shastra Vakya. So it's not necessary for Nachiketa that he has learned from the Shastras that the gift has to be done liberally. Seeing the thing, he will understand that what my father is doing is absolutely wrong. Instead of going to the heaven, he will be taken to the hell. That was his feeling. So what will he do? First of all, what kind of gifting father was doing, that has to be told. So Upanishad finishes the story, and just one shloka. This I would like you to recite with following me. Pitodaka jagdhatrina Pitodaka jagdhatrina Dugdhadoha nidindriyaha Dugdhadoha nirindriyaha Ananda namate lokaha Ananda namate lokaha Tan sagacchati tadadat. He is saying that Ananda namate lokaha tan sagacchati ta dadat. Who gives these kinds of gifts, he goes to a place, Ananda namate lokaha, not heaven, hell, where there is no joy at all. Heaven means there is joy, hell means there is no joy, there is only suffering. Ananda means opposite of Ananda. Or Nanda, Nanda also means joy. The Ananda means not joyous. So, the father will be taken to a place where there is no joy. Although he is performing the yaga to go to the heaven, he will be taken to the hell. What kind of gifts he is giving? Pitodaka, Pita Udaka. That means it is a what do you call it? Samasa. That is, those who have drank water forever. What does it mean? Pitodaka means uska pina ho gaya hai. Jinka pina ho gaya, aur nahi piyegi. A cow he is giving who will not drink anymore. Means what is the condition of the cow? He will not drink water anymore. खत्म होने वाला है. जगधत्रिणा, जो लास्ट जो घास है वो खा लिया है, खा चुकी है. जगधत्रिणा मीन्स जो खाने का है, जो चिबाने का है वो हो गया है. जगधत्रिणा. It's a beautiful way of expressing, and in one word they can express. It's all bahuvrihi samasa, those who understand Sanskrit. दुग्ध दोहा, वो जितना दूध देने का था सब खत्म हो गया, ले लिया गया है, और दूध नहीं निकलेगा उनसे. निरिंद्रियाः, some of the organs are spoiled. Maybe one teeth is dried, one teeth is spoiled, one horn has gone, or one leg is lame, or whatever. Nirindriya means some indriyas are not there or defective. So whatever cannot be, this is exaggeration, but they are projecting that this is the Shastra's way. You can easily think that will such a cow be there who will never eat water? No, don't argue like that. They are projecting an excessive, the exaggerated picture, so that you understand how useless gifts the father was giving, Nachiketa's father. They may be drinking water, eating ghas also, but they will never yield. It is equally so that will you gift a cow which will never yield milk? So if he gives this kind of gifts, then he will be taken to Ananda Namate Loka, where there is joylessness. Will it not be? Forget about hell and heaven. A person who is gifting useless things, will he ever have the joy of gifting? Rather, he will be always suffering from the guilt that I have disposed of the material on them. And the people who are getting it also will curse him. Curse him means they will not have a good opinion about him. What all things he have given, such a kingly person, what he has given. So all this has effect. All these will have some effect. So his life will be ananda. He doesn't have to go to the hell after the body falls. This is the beauty of it. We have to shift between the myth and the reality. He doesn't have to go to heaven or hell at all. Here itself the life would have become joyous if he had given liberally. And here itself the life will become joyless because of his constriction of the mind, because of his wrong gifts. That Nachiketa could easily understand that this is so. So thinking that, what did Nachiketa do? See the mind of Nachiketa. He thought that father is definitely going to be joyless, going to go to hell. How to protect my father? How to compensate for the wrong gifts he had given? So he thinks that actually in the Shastras also it is written that the best gift a person can give to others is a good son. Because son is considered to be the greatest possession of a family. Son means a good son. If he gives such a son, that will be a great gift given. And his sacrifice undergone in gifting the son, that will compensate for all the wrong gifts he has given. So he goes to his father and asks that, "Oh father, to whom are you gifting me?" That means as the father is gifting everything, to whom are you gifting me? Sahovacha pitaram tata kasmai mam dasyasiti. Sa ha uvacha pitaram tata kasmai mam dasyasi iti. Oh father, to whom are you gifting me? Now the father is already having a guilt in his mind. So the moment the small boy asks that, "Whom are you gifting me?" he understands this boy is clever. He has understood I am doing something wrong and he has come to find out the wrong. Actually he has come to save him. But as the Rajasika, Tamasika or Tamasika, Rajasika Buddhi, always they understand in the reverse way. Sarvarthan Viparitamscha Buddhissa Partha Tamasi in Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter. So he gets annoyed and गुस्सा हो जा रहे हैं अंदर में, थोड़ा सा होता ही है. But then what does Nachiketa do? Dvitiyam Tritiyam Tam Hovacha. He asked father again and again, second time, third time. Then father cannot control his anger anymore. That the boy has understood and he gets annoyed initially, then holds it. But after he asks twice and thrice, he cannot hold it anymore. He comes out, he blurted out, what? Mrityavetva dadamiti. I give you to death. See, a father is telling a good son, I give you to death. It's a sort of cursing, beta tu mar ja. It is like that. So it shows in one shloka how our wrong behavior agitates our mind, enrages our mind, and how we lose all our sense in that. Can you relate to Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter? It's clearly written there. Yesterday I uttered the first part of the shloka. Vishayan dhyayate pumsaha sangaste supajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Krodha from kama, when the desire is not fulfilled, you don't know how to fulfill the desire, it results in anger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, samyak moha. Sammoha means samyak moha. Completely, normally you are deluded. But when you are angry, you are absolutely deluded, completely deluded. Sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. When you are deluded like that, in your anger, you lose track of where we are and where we. Everything, the smriti vibhramaha. That you lose your self-seatedness, not only that, circumstantial awareness also goes. In the ashram, sometimes if anybody becomes very angry, in front of all the guests and all, there will be a fighting. Because in krodha you don't know what it is. Smriti bhamshad buddhinashaha. Buddhi will no more what? Buddhinashad pranashyati. Prakrishta rupena nashyati. That leads us to destruction. The whole sequence, whatever is told in Bhagavad Gita and Kathopanishad are is taraf us taraf hai. Most of it is based on Kathopanishad and partly on Mundakopanishad of Bhagavad Gita. So what it says in 2.67 or something, 62, and corresponding 3 verses, it is exactly shown in one line in Kathopanishad by analyzing Vajashravas's behavior. This is how we have to study the scriptures. Your mind should go around like Tailadhara, as I said yesterday, that it spreads everywhere. The moment something is that you should be related to Vivekachudamani, to Kathopanishad, to Mundakopanishad, to Bhagavad Gita, everything should be floating around, and you have a comprehensive understanding of this. So father said that Mrityave tva dadamiti, I give you to death. Now, partly myth and partly the story is weaved in that manner. Nachiketa is thinking. See what was his mind? What Nachiketa is thinking, he has mentioned in just one shloka or so. But we have to understand the kind of the mind he had and compare with our mind. In such a case, when the father is cursing us or telling us like this, how will you behave? Will you not also respond angrily? I came to do some good for you. You did not understand. You are cursing me to death. Okay, you go anywhere. You go to the hell. It is not like that. He was having an universal loving mind, Nachiketa. So he was really concerned about his the consequence of the work the father was doing, the consequence of the deed, father's deed. So he was worried, he was anxious about his father. So he is thinking that what can be done? Father has uttered like that. But suppose I don't go to death, then father will be proven as liar. It is exactly like Rama in Ramayana. Why did he go to the forest? Dasharatha is saying that don't go, put me into the jail and you rule the kingdom. But Rama says, you have given the promise to my mother and you have asked me to go to the forest. If I don't go, it will not be all right. You will be proven a liar. So he went. Here also, exactly similarly, Nachiketa feels that if I don't go to death, then father's words will not be proven. Although he understands that father is doing wrong things, even then he wants to prove his father to be Satya Pratishtha or whatever. So this is the way he is thinking. You can repeat. Bahunami prathamo. Bahunami madhyamaha. Kim svid yamasya kartavyam. Yanmayadya karishyati. Bahunami prathamo. Bahunami madhyamaha. Kim svid yamasya kartavyam. Yanmayadya karishyati. So he is thinking that why did my father behave like this? Because Bahunam Emi Prathama. In my father's school, most probably it was his Bhajashravasa school he was studying, Gurukula, in his Gurukula. So in the Gurukula of the other students, in many respects I am the first. That means I am a good boy. I am the first. Bahunam Emi Madhyamaha. Maybe in some other aspects I am the mediocre. But I am never adhamaha. I am not the lowermost category whom father can scold like this. Kim svid yamasya kartavyam yan mayadya karishyati. What has Yamaraja to do with me in this case? Am I fit for going to death? Yamaraja means the Lord of Death. What will he do with such a person? I am not a useless person to undertake suicide or whatever at this point. Further he thinks, Anupashya yatha purve Pratipashya tatha pare Anupashya yatha purve Pratipashya tatha pare Sasyamiva matyah pachyate Sasyamiva jayate punaha Sasyamiva matyah pachyate Sasyamiva jayate punaha. He is thinking to himself that if you look back, if you look at the past, and if you look at the future also, Anupashya yatha purve, as whatever has happened and whatever is happening or whatever is going to happen, if you look into it, then I find that there is nothing great in embracing death. What is that? Sasyam iva matyaha pachyate. People die like the paddy, corn, paddy. What happens? Every year seasonal. Sasya means seasonal things. They grow and then they are cut, or they otherwise also they will dry off. Seasonal herbs, they will always die after the time is over. Pachyate sasyamiva ajayate punaha. And again next season they grow up. So why are we attaching so much of importance to human life, to our own life, so to say? It is, if you look at with the broad perspective, It is just like the herbs are growing and herbs are dying, human beings are growing and millions of human beings are growing, are taking birth, they are dying also. In looking at death with fear and all, are we not giving too much of importance to our own life? This is the vision of a Vairagyan, a person who has the impersonality. He will have that kind of a vision. Some insects are there where 3 generations, at night they come and in the morning when you see them on the floor, it said that 3 generations of insects are there. In the process they have born, they have died, etc. Already lying together 3 generations. I took some of the people to the Parsyaramga. I said, see, all the kings of Jamshedpur are lying here, side by side, all along. We could identify them. They might have been great, managing director and whatnot. He is lying there, his wife, with his wife, both side by side. And nobody cares. Nobody even sweeps it properly. It's all dirty. Everything is dirty. So, truly speaking, it is only a scale of time that in some cases it is very fast, taking birth and dying. In some cases it is such a span. Some cases it could be much longer than human beings also. The fact is that it is just like the causal phenomena taking place in the world. The life is also, it is part of the causality working in the whole universe. There is nothing great about it. We put too much of greatness about our own life, not about others' life, but our own life. And that is why we are not able to rise to the purity or the perfection we look for. Our Pondicherry mother had a great statement. She had mentioned that if men could take life less seriously, they could very soon make it more perfect. If we take life less seriously, we could make it more perfect, very soon make it more perfect. I may be wrong a little, one word here and there. Now, we have to understand what is the meaning of seriously or not seriously. It's not saying that you should not take anything seriously. But we put too much of we magnify our life. That is why we are always quarreling, unhappy. So much of unhappiness everywhere. Our face remains long. It's not a cheerful face. The moment we are able to look at life in a proper manner, I should say, impersonal manner, smilingly we will take all the sufferings. There are people who are taking, yesterday I told about our Keshtada, the flood has taken away everything. He is taking it smilingly. What is the harm? There are many people. I told so many times about our Amarnath Yatra when my mother was falling again and again over the snow. It's a long story, but she was falling. I was pushing her up and she was saying annoyedly that I will never come to Amarnath again. Mother, who has asked you to who has asked you to come again? Once we have come, let us go back with happily. But she was very annoyed with the falling. What has anybody done? You are not able to walk on the snow and it's a steep climb, you are falling. I am helping you to get up. So suddenly we saw clapping from the top. It was a very high slope. From the top, we found an Anga Sadhu that is absolutely without any dress. Only perhaps langoti was there. And even the feet also, they generally have the leaf chappal. That also is not there. Barefoot he is standing on the snow and clapping and saying, Anand karo, girna bhi anand hai, girna bhi anand hai. And I just told my mother, see, she looked at him and smiled. चला गया. क्या है इसमें इतना सीरियसली लेने का क्या है कि गिर रहे हैं? वाह, हंसो ना, गिर रहे हैं. एक टांग टूट गया, हाँ टूट गया, हंसो, क्या है इसमें? My sister's son, he got under the truck in the scooter and lost one leg. Oh, his father is even now crying. How many years have passed? 20 years? वो बच्चा का क्या हो गया? और बच्चा क्या कर रहे हैं? एक टांग लेके हॉस्पिटल में बैठे हुए हैं और सब कोई 5-6 फ्रेंड्स को लेके आनंद से गा रहे हैं रविंद्र संगीत, गाना कर रहे हैं. उनका कुछ नहीं है. और फादर वहां सोचते सोचते पागल हो रहे हैं पूरा. This is the way. So Nachiketa took, when we are impersonal, we are not selfish, we will be able to take anything in life smilingly. What is so great about it? So he considers his life to be just like the herbs coming up and either cropped or dying. So why should I worry about going to Yamaraja? I should simply walk to Yamaraja. Here he is clubbing the myth. Now can anybody walk to Yamaraja? People ask me often after I discuss about Kathopanishad, was it his dream or was it not? I have to go to Nachiketa to ask whether he dreamt. At least I have to, there is no author for the Upanishads. These are all statements. No author is there that I can ask, why did the author write about it? But we can understand this story, myth is mixed with the reality. The purpose is not in knowing whether Nachiketa dreamt or not. The purpose is in whatever lessons we are getting from there. It is the mindset of the Nachiketa which the author wants to project. So, Upanishad does not discuss anything more. He has already set his mind that this is what Nachiketa thought. And next what happens? From the shloka we have to understand that he went to Yamaraja and reached Yamaraja's palace. Yamaraja was not there. So he sat in front of the palace. एक दिन हो गया, एक रात, दो रात, 3 days and 3 nights he sat there before Yamaraja arrived. Where did Yamaraja go? He is the king of death, the lord of death. Where did he go? Maybe some urgency was there. We need not think all that thing. Maybe there was a Mahamari, there was some disease or accident or so where he had to take care of किनको बचाएंगे और किनको ले जाएंगे, सब देखना पड़ता है ना. So generally the managing director will not be called. His chelas will go and collect the people from there. So this is the religious myth they are punching. But Yamaraja will not go unless there is a call for him. The managing director को call करने जैसे बड़ा कुछ हुआ होगा वो गए होंगे. But what they want to mean is that for 3 nights and 3 days, Nachiketa kept sitting there. When I was teaching this in our ashram, some young boys were there like Bunty and his friends and all. So I was telling one of them that, can you think in your case what will you do? If your father has sent somewhere and you go and find that the person is not there, वो एक हो सकता है कि वापस आके पिताजी को बोलोगे कि नहीं वो नहीं है. दूसरा हो सकता है कि थोड़ा सा भी भूख लगा या कुछ भी नहीं लगा, बोर हो गया तो वो हम थोड़ा घूम के आते, थोड़ा कोका कोला पी के आते हैं, तो चला गया. वापस आके देखा कि हाँ यमराज आए थे फिर चले गए, आए थे थोड़ा समय के लिए फिर चले गए हैं. ऐसे ही तो होगा ना. तुम 3 दिन 3 रात बैठ सकते हो क्या? वो देखो. This is what is meant by titiksha, the one of the 6 sadhana sampatti. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Samadamadi, Shadka sampatti. There Shama, Dama, Titiksha comes. All these 3 are there. Shama means the mind should be free of desire, calm mind. That is already shown. Dama means there should be enough control over your indriyas. Even if you are hungry, you have come for a purpose. Will you not be able to hold your hunger? That you will do when suppose you are working and your employment will go or something like that. You will hold your hunger. That you should be able to do wherever there is importance. So Dhamma means not to be slave to the sense organs. To remain comfortable with the difficulty also, unaffected in the difficulty. Titiksha means Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam. That means when there is a suffering, to be able to forbear that suffering without looking for a redress. Now, without looking for a redress is another thing. Suppose there is a suffering for which you have to solve it and redress is necessary. You can do it, but the main point is remaining unaffected. It is not so much of looking for a redress, but remaining unaffected in a situation of suffering. If you are unaffected, you can look for the redress also much better. So that is the titiksha. Titiksha means you will not get immediately upset. That means you are not slave to the object. You try to link whatever I have been saying for these last 3 days. It is to win over, the whole sadhana is to win over the slavery we have towards the objects and the objective situation. And be Atmavash, not to become Vishayvash. That is to win over our lower tendencies and get established in the inmost being. So, Nachiketa remained there. On the other hand, the Upanishad is showing that the Yamaraja's palace people, how idle and inattentive they were, to show parallelly in any setup or ashram or whatever, how inattentive people create problem. That a boy has come, a young boy, a good looking Sattvika boy, is sitting there. If Yamaraja has gone for an urgent work, should not the palace people look after him, welcome him or give him some food and drink at least? बेटा बैठे हो, कल से देख रहे हैं, कुछ खाओगे, कुछ पियोगे? कोई नहीं देखा है. हम लोग हमेशा बोलते, आजकल थोड़ा बेटर है, पहले हमेशा बोलते थे कि आश्रम में घंटी हो गया खाने का, जो रहने वाले सब चले गए और जो गेस्ट खड़े हैं तो वो रह गए. कोई नहीं देखता है कि इनको ले जाना है, क्या करना है, नहीं करना है. People become like that. People are selfish. This is showing the parallelly the other side of it. How we become selfish with our own. Even in Yamaraja's palace also it is happening. If you go to Indra's palace, there also it will happen. So whether we are on this earth or in some great manner, we are great managing director or anything, we have to see that our people develop attention. They develop humility. They develop all loving, all embracing attitude. Just because I am belonging to a very great company or great institution or so, you should not become egoistic about it and neglect others. You should not neglect anybody. Even if a chore comes also, you have to take care of it. I am not asking to bring him in and give him all the keys. Not like that. But you have to take care of him. So, nobody welcomed him, nobody gave him anything at all. That Nachiketa remained there in front of the palace. So much of description they are not giving explicitly, they are telling in brief, we have to relate and make out. Vaishvanara pravishati atithur brahmano grihan tasyaitam shantim kurvanti हरवैवस्वतोदकम् आशा प्रतीक्षे सगतं सूनृतां च इष्टापूर्ते पुत्रपशूंश्च सर्वान् एतद्वृङ्क्ते पुरुषस्याल्पमेधसो यस्यानश्नन् वसति ब्राह्मणो गृहे. He says, Vaishvanara pravishati atithir brahmano grihan tasyaitam shantim kurvanti haravaivasvatodakam. This is a statement by the parishad of Yamaraja. That means those who are accompanying, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर्स के साथ जितने लोग गए थे वो लोग जो वापस आ रहे हैं वो भी देखे और खबर लिए कि क्या हो रहा, तो वो यमराजा को बोल रहे हैं. दे आर टेलिंग यमराजा वैश्वानरः. Vaishvanara is the name of fire. That small guest, brahmacharin, has entered your palace like fire. Why fire? Fire is having great power. Now, it depends on you how you are utilizing the fire. You can utilize the fire for all good things as we are doing also. And if you are wrongly using it, it can cause destruction and devastation also. Is it not? Even that is why in our traditional, when the housewife will light the fire oven, they would chant shlokas and give columns around. This was the traditional method. That you are honoring the fire, you are respecting they will chant shlokas also. That to preserve the goodness, the nourishment of the family, and they put kolam and do some parishachana, offer something to the fire, and then only start cooking. Why? Because fire has great power. Not only that, With that fire, we are making everything which will be digested by our system. So the contribution of fire we are remembering with gratitude. This gratitude is missing from our life. That is why we are suffering. For everything, we should be grateful for whatever. Upanishads are repeatedly saying that we should be grateful to the natural powers, to nature, because they have given us the ayus, that ayus should be properly lived, showing gratitude towards nature. How do you show gratitude towards nature? By not spoiling it, by preserving it. That is why our temples were made on the hilltop and near the river. Hilltop hone se kya hoga? We will not destroy the hill. Now in our Trichur ashram, around that 5 hills were there. Now only 1.5 is there. 1.5 are there. That too, the one hill on which we have the most ancient Parashurama Pratishtha, a temple, that also has been cut from here, there, etc. And we have been fighting. Finally, we won the case by that time when we got the order and prevented cutting the hill. Already 3.5 hills have gone. So this is how we are spoiling nature. So he says that the Atithir Brahmana, the Brahmacharin, has come as a guest. He has entered the palace like fire. So, Yamaraja, you first of all you please him, because he has been staying here without food, without drink for 3 days, 3 nights. There has been lot of anachara, that wrong has been done. So it has to be compensated, it has to be atoned. So bring water, bring other things so that we can welcome him. He should be satisfied first of all. Because otherwise, what he is saying is that Asha pratikshe sangatam sunritam cha ishta purte putra pashumscha sarvan etad bringte purushasya alpamedhaso yasya anashnan vasati brahmano grihe. Brahmana means those are given to brahmacharya. Brahme charatiti brahmacharya. So such a person, if it remains as a guest in anybody's house, and if we do not honor him, do not pay enough respect or attention towards him, then what can happen, he is saying. In saying, he says purushasya alpamedaso. That means the man who doesn't understand the importance of doing the Atithi Seva and Brahmana Seva. A person who has the internal fire, a brahmacharin is like a fire. We have to understand his value, we have to respect it. Apart from that, any guest has to be respected and welcomed properly. So what all happened to him? Asha pratikshe. See, the words are very nice also, although we are going fast here. Asha means we are hoping to happen. And pratiksha means we are waiting to that. It is not asha. It will happen, but we are expecting it to happen. There is a difference. Asha is only for the future. Pratiksha is near future and everything has been done, it is happening. So both whatever we are expecting and whatever we are hoping, all will be spoiled. What all destruction will be for him, he is saying. Sangatam sunritam cha. Whatever good words he has used, whatever satsanga he has used, everything, the benefit of all will be gone. That is whatever good work he has done. Ishta purte. Ishta means the worship, etc. The religious yajna, worship, everything. Purta means for social welfare. Suppose we have put up for the Atithi Nilaya or so on the pilgrimage site, or those days load reliever, then pond, digging pond. These were the purta. Always there had been different purtas. So any good work done by your religious performances, like as Vajashravas was doing, or in the manner of social welfare, all will be spoiled. The good effect of all will be spoiled. Putra pashumscha sarvan. Even the progeny and the property you have. Pashu means those were the cows and all that was the property. Whatever possession you have, whatever lineage you have, everything will be spoiled. What are they meaning by that? They are meaning that our gratitude, our attention to everything, our humility, our respect for others, it will ensure a good lineage. It will ensure the protection of the whatever possession we have. Everything will become long living. Otherwise, even if we have riches, it will be lost in no time. And the children or the grandchildren will become misbehaving. So that your reputation will go, everything will go. So they are giving the importance of in the social life of a person, in his household life of a person, what is most important is being humble, being respectful to others, having gratitude for all the great things we have. Will it not make our mind very wide and peaceful? So we don't have to wait for the hell or heaven or anything. Here itself the life will become peaceful. So these are all instructions of the Vedas which are just said here. The Vedas has got all these instructions also, not only Yaga Yajna. So Yamaraja understood that a great mistake has taken place, a wrong has taken place. Not understood, he himself would have understood, but the Parishad, his people, his ministers, pointed it out to him that you have to do some atonement, because whatever mistake might have taken because of the other residents of the palace, the blame finally goes to the managing director. Is it not? The king. Because they are all managed by you, those who are residents. Suppose in the ashram any wrong takes place, finally the wrong goes to Swamiji only. Because other people, the ashramites, they are looked after by Swamiji. If they are wrong natured, their nature is not all right, then the guru has to be blamed. He will always take the blame of it. He has to take it also, because you have not kept you have not educated your people properly. That is what they are saying. And Yamaraja immediately accepts also that it has been his mistake. So for atonement, he begs Nachiketa to ask for some boon. Poor Nachiketa was not interested in any boon. But to relieve his father, he came to Yamaraja. Now to relieve Yamaraja, he had to accept a boon. See, this is the condition of good people. To relieve his father, he came to Yamaraja. Now Yamaraja again did some mistake. So to relieve him, he has to accept 3 boons. So Yamaraja says that 3 nights and 3 days you have been remaining here without food, without drink. Brahman atithir namasyaha. You are actually pujaniya. You should be worshipped. But it has happened. Namaste estu Brahman swasti me estu tasmat prati trin varan vrinishva. I prostrate before you, O great brahmachari. Let there be good for me, swasti, let there be peace for me. Please accept 3 boons from me. Now, Nachiketa, now again the Upanishad is picturing Nachiketa's mindset. What will you ask as the first boon? He does not have any desire for anything worldly. So he came there primarily to relieve his father. So automatically the first boon he asks is that, may my father become all right, because first of all he is a gusse wala hai. He is an angry person. Manyu, he is saying that he is an angry person. So please relieve him of his anger. So first he asks that by which my father will become peaceful and I will also become better. I mean, my life also will become easy. He says, Shanta Sankalpaha Sumana Yatha Syat. Shanta Sankalpaha Sumana Yatha Syat. Vita Manyuhu Gautamo Mabhimrityo. Tvat Prasishtam Mam Abhivadet Pratita Etat Trayanam Prathamam Varam Brine. The first boon I ask, of the 3 boons, the first one I ask is that make my father free of his Vitamanyuhu. Vitamanyu means whose anger has gone. Make my father peaceful without anger. And also additionally he says that when I go back he should not get terrified seeing me that the bhoot aa gaya hai. That he should receive me as his son. He should be able to identify me. So together, that means Yamaraja is not going to take him away. He is sending him back to the father also is there in the part of the boon. Very clever also Nachiketa that way. So he says that when I go back he should be receiving me properly in the proper manner. That is my first boon. His translation is, O death, of the three boons I ask this one as the first. My father Gautama may become freed from anxiety, calm of mind, freed from anger towards me, and he may recognize me and talk to me when freed by you. Freed by you means when you leave me to get back to my house. So, this I will not go to the shloka in detail to shortcut. I will go to the more important shlokas. So Yamaraja grants that your father will be all right, and when you go back, everything will be fine. Nothing is going to be wrong. He will sleep in the night. So he will sleep very well, being freed of the anger and all. Then he asks that. Now we ask the second boon. Nachiketa says as the second boon, what will be the second boon? His father's problem has been sorted out already. The second boon, he has three boons in hand. He will give the master stroke in the third boon. So the second boon he asks is that people are always suffering from various things. They want to do this, do that, etc. Some rituals. See, here he is highlighting the ritual. You will find in other places he is condemning the ritual. This is the greatness. In Mundaka Upanishad, first in a few shlokas, they highlight the ritual, saying that whatever you are doing, consider them to be absolutely true. That when you are performing the yaga, if you do it faithlessly, then you will not have any benefit. Because it is the faith of the mind that works. So everything has meaning. If you are doing the yaga with a faithful mind, then your mind will bring in the result of it also. So after saying that you should do it with full faith in everything, you should offer the navadhanya or whatever it is properly. There are 7 kinds of flame. You should offer it in between. It should not be here, there, etc. Many things they have said. And not only that, if you do it like that, when your body falls, they will all wait in the heaven. Ajao, 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 come. We are all waiting for you. There will be great welcome with garland and all in the heaven. So you will be taken by the Surya Rashmi. That means through light you will be taken, not through Andhakara. Whereas if you do wrongly, you will be taken through the Andhakara, the darkness, and going to the hell, one of the 600 hells they have described. And there you will be fried in hot oil or given 6,000 pricks from all sides. All the descriptions are there. So the fact is that if you do things properly means you develop your attention. If you work in a place properly, will not other companies also look for you? Will they not welcome you, call that you come to our company, I will give you double the salary and all. It is just like that. So they are trying to make us do everything, whatever we do, faithfully and attentively, with attention for benefit of our own life, nothing else. So he wanted to know one, that he says, Swarge loke na bhayam kinchana asti, na tatratvam na jaraya bibheti. He says, Nachiketa says that I have heard that in the heaven there is no fear. Na tatratvam. That means he is telling Yamaraja that in the Swarga Yamaraja is not there. So nobody has to die. Na tatratvam, na jaraya bibheti. There is no jara also. Here always whatever you enjoy, after some time your age will catch hold of you, jara will catch hold of you. When you are suffering from diabetes and all, yesterday all rasgullas brought, na? It is a torture, it is not it is not really something to be welcomed. If you are suffering, you cannot take, but you see all the good sweets. In Calcutta, 7 kinds of sweets were placed in front. But I cannot take anything. Of course, I don't have any attraction for them also. But generally, if the person jara, when it takes place, the body is diseased, then you cannot enjoy, even if there are enjoyments outside, you cannot enjoy anything at all. So it is a torture living in enjoyment. Na tatratvam na jaraya vibheti ubhe titva ashanaya pipase shokatigo modate swargaloke. How the people are enjoying in the swargaloka? Modate means they are enjoying in swargaloka. Shokatigo, there is no shoka at all, no grief, nothing. And what is it? Ubhe titva ashanaya pipase. There is no thirst, no hunger. That is what I was saying. That see the description they are giving. If you go into it, you will understand the fallacy of it. If you don't have hunger and if you don't have thirst, then you cannot enjoy food, you cannot enjoy drink. You cannot enjoy even water, the most pure drink. So what is the benefit of going to the Swarga? Our life is not, at least 50% of the enjoyment is eating and drinking. So if you don't have hunger, don't have thirst, what kind of enjoyment it is? So they have described in the manner that you have to read between the lines and see whether it is attractive or not. But Nachiketa says that Agni Vidya, he asked as the second boon as Agni Vidya, which is used for going to the heaven and all. Here again the important point is that Yamaraja told him the entire detail of Agni Vidya, the how many bricks have to be put, how are they to be arranged, where the offering has to be made, what are the mantras, everything he told. And Nachiketa, when Yamaraja asked, he repeated everything. Whatever was told, he repeated. So Yamaraja was surprised that what is this boy? Whatever is told, he is able to repeat. That is said by the Satya Dhruti, that mind is, why are we inattentive? Suppose we are serving food or water. So much of vegetable is there, again we want that vegetable to be put. Why this inattention is coming? Because the mind is taken away by something else. While serving, we are thinking of somebody told me something, or something I have to do today, or I missed doing that, this. Is it not so? Whatever we are doing, even while studying the Shastras also, our mind is thinking of something else. We say always that while chanting in the morning, we are thinking of meditation. While meditating, you are thinking of chanting. So something or other, the mind is always, the desireful mind will never be on the work. Whereas when the mind becomes free of desires, whatever he does will be done with the fullest attention. It is called yatra yatra manojati tatra tatra samadhaya. Sahaja samadhi it is called. That is, his mind doesn't miss anything anytime. So whatever he does with his full attention, full effort, everything. Because his mind doesn't go anywhere else. It is fully concentrated there. It is because our mind is always looking for something else that we are not attentive to what we are doing. वो सेल्फ के विषय में सोचते सोचते हम सेल्फ को मिस करते हैं. Those who are working for self-realization, thinking of self-realization, actually they are missing the self, because self is not to be had from anywhere. Self is what we are. That is the revealer of everything, revealer of our desires also. But the desire is so much that our mind is always thinking of that again as a small thing to be gained. So we are missing the I in us, the real identity in us. Everywhere that is why attention is the greatest sadhana. And attention will not come unless the mind is free of desires. Mind has to be free of these distractions. That is why Bhagavad Gita points out that ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyeshcharan atmavashir vidhe atma prasadam adhigacchati. When the ragadvesha, clinging to what I like, and hatred or intolerance towards what we dislike, that goes, then he is always joyous, his work, everything he does with a placid mind. So all these have to be learned from the story also. So Nachiketa, Yamaraja got so happy, became so happy with Nachiketa's performance that he gave an additional boon also. What is that? He gave him a mala with the name. That is a costly mala which we will not be able to have generally. Not only that, it's a powerful mala. That means it is a magical power given with the mala. That anybody who does tapasya and all, various powers will come. Now if you get attracted by that power, then you are gone. You will again be in the same soup. Maybe not with the material power, with something unnatural power. So later on we will understand that Nachiketa did not accept the mala. He gave it back to Yamaraja that I am not interested in this mala. Then Yamaraja said that you have done it so well that this Agni Vidya will be propagated in the earth, on the earth, and it will be known by your name. So the Agni Vidya will be given the name Nachiketa Agni. It is so. Even now it is known as Nachiketa Agni. That particular yaga will be named after Nachiketa. That also Yamaraja gave. But that Nachiketa cannot do anything. He did not say anything about it also. So like that the second boon along with some additional boons went. Then came the last, the third boon. Now come to the verse 20. This is very important. In the whole of Kathopanishad there are two questions of Nachiketa. Now one thing you should remember, the Vajrashravas has done his role, played his role and gone away in 1-2 shlokas in the beginning itself. Thereafter Vajrashravas never appeared in Kathopanishad. Purpose was to say that in spite of doing all the rituals, the mind remained constricted. So he is not fit for the knowledge. Whereas Nachiketa, not doing any rituals at all, he went to Yamaraja and Yamaraja instructed him the ultimate truth. That is the role played by Vajrashravas. Now this shloka I would like you to take by heart. Repeat after me. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye. Asti ityeke nayam asti tichaike. Asti ityeke nayam asti tichaike. Etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham. Etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham. Etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham. Those who have difficulty, you can put hyphen, hyphen, hyphen. It will become easy. In diacritical notes, it is very easy because you can put many hyphens there, splitting the words. Etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham. Varanamesha varastrutiyaha. The last line is Varanam Eshaha Varaha Tritiyaha. Eshaha Tritiyaha Varaha. That of all the three varas, this is the third vara I ask for. This is the third boon I ask for. What is the third boon? Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye. Prete means when the body falls. Vichikitsa manushye. This is the doubt in people. When the body falls, this is the prevalent doubt in people. What is the doubt? Asti iti eke. Some say there is something. Asti. That means the body has fallen, but he is there. Something is there. Asti iti eke. Something is there. He is there. Na ayam asti iti cha eke. Na ayam asti iti cha eke. Na ayam asti iti cha eke. Some others say that no, nothing is there. The body has become, it will become hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and all that, and it has got mixed with the earth and nothing is there. Etad vidyam anushishtas tvaya aham. Aham tvam anushishtaha etad tvaya anushishtaha etad vidyam. Aham tvaya anushishtaha etad vidyam. I would like to know the truth of it by following the anushishtaha is there, by following the discipline given by you. That means under your tutelage, I would like to know that what is the real truth behind this. Some say it is there, some say nothing is there. What is the real truth? Suppose it is a question of only yes or no. Then Yamaraja would have immediately told him, no, those who say asti, they are true. Those who say nasti, they are not. All right. तो उसमें सीखने का क्या है, चले जाएंगे. He knew that the reply is not going to be that easy. Nachiketa knew that. So he is saying the truth of it I would like to know by following, by remaining under your tutelage, by following the shasana given by you, by following the discipline given by you. That means the truth needs certain cultivation of the mind and intelligence to understand the truth. He knew that. So he accepts him as his guru, that because it is the question is about the death. So who can be a better teacher? The Lord of the Death will be the best teacher for that. So he is asking him to teach this science, what happens when the body falls. So it is a simple question in the beginning. But after some time, Nachiketa again repeats his question, but in an altogether different manner, in a very erudite manner. And then Yamaraja starts giving him the instructions. So once more we will read it. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye asti ityeke nayam asti tichaike etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham Varanamesha varastritiyaha. See, towards the end, I hope to come to that by taking few shlokas like this. Towards the end, the reply to this will be given. He says that it has to be known as something asti. That is, people are saying asti and na asti. That means it is or it is not. He says that it has to be known as asti, at it is, but not in the usual sense of as we see the glass and say that the glass is there existing. It's not that. It is not an object which is existing before you to say that, well, this is existing. The whole idea of existence will change. Because it is the whole universe which is appearing in the consciousness, and we are talking about the consciousness which is the Atma. So the whole universe is actually not existing. Existing means it is appearing in the consciousness. But if at all anything is true which never undergoes change, which never dies, never gets born, which is not in the objective ken at all, that is the Atma, that is the consciousness. That is what Nachiketa is asking to know. It will come repeatedly. So that is, even saying that exists is wrong, because it is not existing in the objective sense that I am seeing the Atma here. You can never see the Atma like that. So that way it is not existing. But if you say it is non-existing, then it's a grave mistake. How? Because if you say it is not, then you will not inquire further. If you say yes it is, but to know what it is you have to know further, then you will inquire and you will pursue it. But if it is said no, nasti is the truth, that's like the rationalist, nasti is the truth, then there is no scope for inquiry further. So before that he says that you go to a person, you have to go to a person who says asti, never go to a person who says nasti. Because if you go to a person who says nasti, then you have no scope for further inquiry. If you go to a person who says asti, then What is that asti? How to know about it? Can anybody know? Like Vivekananda asking everybody, have you seen God? Going to Maharshi Devendranath and Ramakrishna also, Ramakrishna Dev. So when somebody, and what did Ramakrishna reply? Yes, I have seen, I can show it to you also. Now initially Vivekananda had to accept it and go ahead with it. Then he understands that it is not to be seen as the object and all that. The detail comes much later. But he has to confirm that yes, it is. These shlokas are all there towards the end. That is, astityevo upalabdhabhyaha tattvabhavena cha chobhaya. Of the two, you have to know it as asti, as it is, but not in the ordinary sense. Tattvabhavena, in the essential truth, it exists. And that alone exists. There is nothing else. So, now tomorrow I will go ahead with denial of Nachiketa's request. That is, Yamaraja will not easily tell him. He says that you are a small boy, you are asking this question, nobody knows the answer. Even in the gods in the heaven, they also are doubtful about it. And clever Nachiketa replies, that is why I am asking you this question. Even the gods in the heaven do not know about it. So is it not a right, very mature question that I should ask you? Otherwise, common question, why should I ask? And where is a person more knowledgeable than you, because you are handling all the dead bodies? Such a person, you are the best teacher also. So I should ask you. But Yamaraja doesn't accept. So the boy is speaking too much. Let me bring all the materials and all. Let him give enough of lifespan, enough of enjoying power and all that. Bring chariots, bring gold-studded this, give him the whole kingdom of the earth and all. Initially he goes on saying, I will give you this, I will give you that, oh Nachiketa, but never ask me this question. Please relieve me of your request. Because he had promised the boon, he has to give him. But such a boon he is asking for, it cannot be given. So please relieve me, Yamaraja is crying. And bringing in all the materials. These things he will not get in the earth, not even in the heaven. I have brought it specially for you. You enjoy them. Here are dances, here are musicians, here are people to do all kinds of seva. If you feel that after some time you will miss all those, I am giving you thousands of years of life. If you feel that also you will have jara, after some time you will start missing, I am giving you health for thousands of years. But please enjoy and relieve me of this last request. But Nachiketa, there is a beautiful shloka in which it is not from Yamaraja, from Nachiketa. He renounces everything. So, shobhava mattasya yadantakaitat sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha api sarvam jivitamalpameva tavaiva vahas tava nritya gite na vittena tarpaniyo manushyo. He says, oh Yamaraja, all these things you have brought, they are all changeful within the changeful ken of world. They will not be there tomorrow. Our tree, people tree is called Ashwatha. That means which will not be there tomorrow. Ashwatha. That means tomorrow it will not be there. Although that is the longest living tree, that also one day it will die. So he says that all these are shvobhava, shva abhava. That means tomorrow they will not be there. And by so much of enjoyment, what will happen? Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. If you overindulge in the sense materials, all the indriyas will get depleted. That is why you have to go to sleep every day. When there is nothing, even in the mind, suppose it's a dreamful sleep, then there also the indriyas are getting tired. In the dream, whatever you are seeing, enjoyment, suffering, both, your indriyas are getting tired, your sense organs are getting tired by that, they are getting depleted. Only in deep sleep, when the whole world is forgotten, then only all the sense organs get recharged, and with that you function again next day. Are you able to understand? So, for recharging the indriyas, this forgetting, renouncing everything is necessary. So he says, Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. They only will deplete the tejas of my sense organs. Api sarvam jivitam alpameva. all the lifespan, whatever you have promised, 1,000 or 10,000 years or 100,000 years, it is all insufficient. This I have explained so many times. Alpam word he is using. Why insufficient? It is not the less, it is less. It's wrongly translated. It means it is insufficient. That means even after 100 years also you still want to enjoy the world more. Then the life 100 is insufficient. Suppose after 20 years you don't have any attraction, repulsion, you don't want to enjoy anymore. You are ready to embrace death, or you can live also. Both are okay. Then the 20 years is sufficient. So the sufficiency does not depend on the span of life, but on the desirelessness of the mind. Do you get my point? So the sufficiency is not on the span of life. So you go on increasing the span of life to 20,000 years also, it is not making me fulfilled. The question is of fulfillment, that I should not look for anything more. Yam labdhva cha aparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Bhagavad Gita. By getting what? Nothing in the world will be any more necessary for me, will be greater than that. And remaining anchored in which even the greatest of the suffering also will not destabilize me. One. This is the gain one is looking for. So whatever lifespan you give for Yamaraja, it is not going to be sufficient. What I want is to know the truth, which will make me fulfill, and I will not look for anything else. The third line is Pavaiva Vahastava Nritya Gite. Therefore, O Yamaraja, all these chariots, dance users, musicians and properties, possession, palace, everything, let them be with you. You enjoy them. Nachiketa is not interested in that at all. Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyo. Tarpana means tripta. That means the possession can never satisfy a human being. However much it is. Vitta means samriddhi, property, possession. The possession, however much it is not going to satisfy anybody. Hearing that, then Yamaraja had nothing more to do. Then he started instructing what is the path and what is this. Then Nachiketa gets impatient. He says that I am not interested in all these things. Then that second question comes. The other day I told you, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhutat cha bhavyat cha, yattat pashyasi tadvada, yattat pashyasi tadvada. We will come to that. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.